Okay, hello, welcome back to another game of chess. We're facing the move d4, and I'm going to play c5, the old Benoni. It is a very interesting way to play against d4, the only way I've found that doesn't make me want to slam my head into a wall, and our opponent, as a London player does, doesn't even register that I've done anything other than play d5, such that they can play their London system. Okay, how am I going to play against this? Well, most appropriately, I think, is actually to take here, because then if queen takes, we can play knight c6, garner some interesting tempo there. It's kind of a bit of an anti-London. I think we will go for this. They've pre-moved queen takes, of course. We'll play knight e6 here, and there's at the very least, okay, nice. At the very least, a loss of tempo in our opponent kind of wasting these two moves with the queen. Also, we get to play e5 very quickly and d5 and claim a full center. So, okay, anti-London system, let's go, baby. I mean, of course, we're going to claim the full center here. This is giving us kind of exactly what we want, almost as if we're playing with the white pieces here, really. And they play e3. Classic. I wonder if they'll play c3, knight here, bishop d3. Okay, but I'm going to start with bishop e6, stabilize the center, develop a piece. I'm thinking that our opponent is most... Are you serious? You cannot possibly be serious. If I see one of these moves, I mean, I guess knight f3 would just make sense regardless, but okay. Right, the reason I've gone for this setup is because I'm almost certain my opponent's going to castle Kingside, the move c3. Probably tells us that. And I'll be damned if I ever castle in the same direction as my opponent. We are going to go for an opposite side castling position, even though I started the game. The first move I played was weakening my queen side and making it a far less convincing prospect for castling location. Who cares? We can castle, we could probably play king b8, we can walk straight into the diagonal of this bishop. No one cares. f6. We're going to stabilize this. We're going to prepare to launch forward with h5 and g5. Okay, at least we should bishop e2 rather than bishop d3. Bishop d3 would have been amusing, just pure London system and then walking directly into a fork. But now we're going to castle. A very interesting position indeed, and a super pleasant and potentially very aggressive attacking position for black. White's really just disrespecting the white pieces by not really playing for anything. No way. What a surprise. We see knight d2. But this is where, I mean, my opponent's being very passive. They're not really doing a whole lot. We've claimed a massive and very secured center. At some point, I'd imagine c4 is going to be an appropriate move, but I mean, no one cares because we're going g5 straight away. We're going to lash out and launch our pawns at these pieces, punishing them for their insolence. With the white pieces, you're playing like this. It's just unforgivable. Now, they play b4, the rotationally symmetric analog. Just to be talking in completely unnecessarily mathematical terms. However, this is effectively the same move that I just played in the sense that they are expanding towards my pieces. They intend to play b5, I intend to play g4. They do get to play this. I could probably drop my knight back to e7. Does kind of block in my bishop a bit, so maybe a good idea would be to develop my bishop to d6 here, such that if they do push, I can drop the knight back, and we've got the bishop out nicely. They play a4, and it's my turn to copy them in playing h5. Now, your pieces just are not that convincingly set up. Mine, absolutely staring at this king side. The bishop pair's looking beautiful, a huge center here, and they play h3, of course, because they don't want to get their bishop trapped. Now, if they castle king side, h3 is going to act as a hook to be able to force open the h-file after takes, or if they don't take, then we're going to be able to take here and force open the g-file. So I'm feeling very excited about my attacking prospects here. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we could get away with something kind of tactical immediately. Here, if you take this, I can take here. But then you just recapture and I have to recapture. I want to play g4. I don't want to play this because I force the bishop back. Maybe that's a good thing. Very plausibly a good thing. But I think we lose a bit of the venom and I'm kind of biting on this hook here to try and open up the king side. I mean, I doubt they will castle this way. I think they'll probably just try and keep their king in the center. But if I go knight here, which kind of connects the rooks and allows me to start thinking about breaking with g4, I don't have that square to bring this knight back, and I really don't want to play knight b8. Maybe we play knight h6. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Right, we've to some extent completed the development of our major, which by I mean minor pieces. They play a5. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in their attack. You don't have the pieces to bolster this attack. And I think I'm going to be doing far more convincing things first. Right, let's push. Let's push. Let's make our first kind of engagement here. We've got a lot of non-confrontational but preparatory work going on. You know, preparing the pieces for the battle. I mean, let's kick things off. Let's draw the first blood. And let's... Wow, I did not even for a millisecond consider that move. Interesting. I guess I can take here and you gotta take with the pawn because of course my bishop, and then I can just take this though. We're tearing apart the king side. The question is, do I want to play f5, f4? The answer is definitely yes. The more pertinent question is, should I? The answer is kind of almost definitely yes. I don't know, am I being stupid? Taking here is a good opportunity. You kind of have to take, else I'm going to take here. So after takes, bishop takes here. I mean, we win a pawn, but we kind of lose the thread of the attack a little bit, maybe. Give our opponent a move there, and I've got a move. I mean, I'm certain it's good. I'm certain I'm, like, very winning here. I'd imagine, or is it move 15? We'll check in the analysis. My guess is minus 3.5. Stab in the dark there. Absolute stab in the dark at what the engine evaluation is going to be, but that's my guess. Okay, we're going for F5. Let's bring in all the troops. I don't see a reason to necessarily bite on this tension just yet. I mean, it's still there. It's not going away. And I really think we can march through towards this kind of Kingside center-y position that the king finds itself in. They do play b5. I guess I probably should have realized that they were going to play b5, but we can very easily drop back here as prepared, and the reason our knight is on h6 is because on e7 it would have precluded me from being able to do that. Is that the right word? I've got no idea. We also do stop knight g6 though. I was half worried about a knight g6 idea attacking e5 twice and then that pawn collapses, and if that pawn collapses things make a little less sense because we aren't supporting this kind of rolling forward of the pawns with f4. But effectively here what we have is, okay, no c pawn, which was admittedly maybe slightly dubious to do that and then castle queenside, but we have perfectly healthy a and b pawns in the sense that neither has been touched. Now what I mean by that is that if they push this pawn, we can push past and close this out. And it's going to be much harder for them to garner activity down this side of the board if we're able to do that. Kind of just wait for them to push and then just push past and lock things out. Either way that they go. The problem is here that they push one of their pawns. Oh, they do play c4 now. Okay, but I'm not even going to think f4. I'm carrying on with my attack. Then I'm going to take here. Dude, step back. Step back. This is good. This is good stuff. This is good stuff indeed. If you have a take here, I'm just improving a knight. Now, I have the opportunity to play g3. You can draw back with the bishop straight away if you take, and then draw back with the bishop. I mean, I'm sure that this is a decent move, if not a very good one. Here, they take, I guess. We take and they get to recapture. We also could push past and actually have a pass pawn. That would be quite amusing. You know what? I really like g3. I'm too tempted to not play g3. They might draw back with the bishop straight away to then later play maybe f3, open up that bishop. It could be a good piece. Okay, they do take. We will take here. Right, this is looking very, very nice indeed. You got one option with the bishop. You've now got no legal moves with this rook, which is at least temporarily a very nice thing for me. They do have an excellent bishop here though. Need to be a little careful. How do I actually proceed? This is a little bit hanging. I might play king b8, I don't know. I'm going to start with king b8. Not exactly the most aggressive move that really, you know, continues the attack here, but I think holding on to a7 is probably kind of important. They do push and they are arriving with some more convincing attack of their own, but I just think, like, look at your king. There's no pawns in front of your king. I can very easily start with a little bishop e5 and attack the rook. Not that I necessarily would want to take the rook. I mean, my dark square bishop is probably going to be very valuable to me. I might legitimately just go push and just control both squares in front of the king with pawns, try and get all of these pieces off the e-file. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of in my own way here. We've got 3 pieces on the e-file. I want a rook there. Now, it seemed feasible that they could move the bishop and castle, but I don't know where exactly they're going to move it to, because here you just walk into tempo for this. You do something like trade and then castle. It's, you know, not so convinced. We push, attack the bishop. This is attacked. I don't know. I feel like we must have a very strong position indeed. My opponent has left the game. I sincerely... There we go. They come back. I was wondering if they'd fled due to a very scary situation for their king. The thing is, though, this is absolutely non-trivial in terms of me actually being winning it. Maybe even I'm not. Maybe even they can play c6 very quickly and really open some stuff up there. I mean, c6 is a scary move indeed. But I probably can take with the knight, hide my king on a8, and then really just focus on my attack. This is a scrap though. This is an absolute scrap. Have we even taken... No pieces have come off the board. We've seen trades of pawns. They lift the rook. Wow. Trades of pawns, but no pieces off the board is very interesting indeed. Right. I genuinely think this is a really good idea. I can't quite work out why. I think actually we kind of disconnect the bishop from the attack a little bit. So we're sort of drastically worsening this bishop. Also, if the bishop can't move, by the way, the rook can't move, all of a sudden you've got 8 points of material that can't move and you can't castle. There's definitely a good reason to play d4 purely based on that. Also, as I mentioned, maybe pushing this makes some sense, but we also get the d5 square. And now I'm thinking it's... Hold on, we can take this though. And I know we give you the open file there. Oh no, because you just play rook b. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? That would be maybe a little foolish. Right, let's get on this diagonal. If you take, I'm taking with my knight. We're playing moves like knight c3 or knight e3. Again, we're getting the rooks on the open files here. We kind of begin with this move as well, excavating the way for rook e8 to have a little bit of venom. And bring this knight in as well. What am I doing? Let's just put this rook here. I mean, we're kind of just trusting the process here. Exceedingly symmetrical development going on. If they take here, then we can just play bishop takes, pawn takes, and some discovery. So they begin to run with the king. I mean, makes sense. I would be doing the same. Clearly terrified. Here, let's bring the knight in. Let's bring the knight in. My time is beginning to dwindle to some extent. I maybe take on b5 soon, because if rook b3, we have queen a5 check. Okay, doubtless an improvement of this knight. give me that, dude. No way. No way. You're not getting away with this. You're not getting away with this. Also, wait, was there even rook b3 after? We'll worry about this in the analysis. I might have said a couple of stupid things. Okay, I mean, I'm putting my knight here because if you ever take this, I mean, again, you're just opening up these rooks. There's no way. There's just no way. Look at my position. I wish I had more time to handle this. This would be so fun. Just to play about here. Oh, did I just miss queen b2? I'm good. Listen, the analysis is going to say that I've missed 100,000 different moves. In a position this tactical, there are going to be tactics all over the place. I think like queen b2 might have just been a win there. However, almost more romantic is just improving the knight. We're just improving the pieces. I mean, we're up one pawn, but I bet the evaluation is we're going to take another stab. What are we on? Move 29. Minus 7.9. There we go. I sincerely hope I actually haven't got either of those right before I get some Naroditsky-esque allegations. Also, just as a brief aside, what the hell is all that? I mean, I'm sure some of you have been following that. Just, he's gone mental. He's absolutely gone mental. They do take. Right, do I go check here because I missed the opportunity to last time, or do I take this? You take with the king. I mean, I could play takes, check. Okay, I'm going to take this. I just like this idea. They take with the king, of course. Oh, no, wait, but now I just take here. Everything falls apart. Every single thing falls apart. This is unbelievable. Look at my rooks. Look at my rooks. They definitely should have gone for c6 earlier. They never got anything convincing off the ground with their pawn storm. So now I'm threatening to take this. Maybe, again, queen b2 was more accurate, but who cares? Because look at my rooks. 52 seconds. I mean, I shouldn't need that much time. Start with a check here. You've got to come here unless you want to walk into potentially this. Wow. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm just going to take this. Not the most romantic thing to do at all, but possibly decent. And then that has to be all she wrote, no? Has to be all she wrote, no? You coming in here? How do I get a nice checkmate? I'm probably missing like 100 checkmates right now. I guess let's just put the queen here. You take the pawn. Oh, no, you don't. You do that. Interesting. I'll take like this, I guess. Open you up. Pause. We're holding this square. Again, you know, it's not about perfect conversion here. It's about really just making the most of this loose king. We hold this square. We're threatening rook h8, rook g8. I guess my opponent's hoping for a flag here. It seems impossible that I could flag here. There's just no way this isn't at the very least. Oh my god. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. What a disgusting game of chess. They want a rematch, unfortunately. I want to analyze that game. Okay, so here we are in the analysis. 92% accurate, not too shabby at all. 4 inaccuracies, which I will wear, of course, as a badge of honor, as I always say. The mistake probably needs rectifying. If we scroll across to look at the graph here, sorry, I'm so aggressively zoomed in because my current setup would not allow you to see below. You'll see. In fact, I'm sure I can zoom out a little bit here. This is a bit aggressive. There we go. So honestly, from the opening, a relatively smooth conversion to a very meaningful, or at least reasonably meaningful advantage. And then around here, we gave it back to roughly even after king b8. I mean, of course, king b8. Well, this is interesting. We'll go through the game. It is just funny to note that king b8 was the only move that wasn't really aggressive and, you know, doing something exciting. So admittedly, I maybe faltered there. But d4, c5, and the flipping London system gets absolutely torched by playing c5. Queen here. Knight c6 here, e5 and d5. I mean, you have just the most gorgeous position. If we look at the Lee Chess database, this position has overall 57 versus 39 win rate in favor of black. I can't imagine many London players would voluntarily go into this, but I mean, it's happened about 5,000 times. Anyway, I don't think there's too much to be said for the opening other than some pretty good stuff. F6, by the way, best move, stabilizing this, preventing knight g5, and again preparing for that launch of the kingside pawn storm. We castle queenside, we then play g5, we go bishop d6, and then h5. Now, them playing a4, they should have gone for something more convincing with b5. Can you guys hear that? A dull, monotonous droning in the background. I believe there's some construction outside. I do hope it's not that bad in the audio. Nevertheless, we're going to speed through an analysis here, so, I mean, at least it wasn't during the whole video. I hope, unless I was zoning out, I was so concentrated on chess. Who cares? a4, not convincing enough. We go for our h5. Then knight h6, one of the best moves. Awesome. They push. We bite. Perfect with g4. And then f5, not ideal. Should I have taken on h3? gh3, gh3. Then king b8. Here, king b8. What? Okay, I like f5. We keep moving it forward. I draw back with the knight. I then play f4 myself. And you see here, we start to build a pretty serious advantage with a -2 there. g3, lovely. Takes. Although no. I should have taken on c4 after g3. Shut up. Oh, I guess if you take here, then I'm going check, maybe? Okay, I guess this makes sense. Honestly, I'm not going to analyze this one to too much of an extent, except for this move, king b8. Why was this so bad? I just wanted to hold a7 and not be susceptible to checks along the c file. I mean, they played c5, which apparently wasn't the best move. Apparently was the best move. Although the engine thinks for longer and longer and realizes that c5 isn't actually that convincing at all. Hold on. So why was king b8 such a massive mistake then? Okay, I mean, they go c5. I move my bishop. Hold on, what? I moved my bishop here. It says that the white is really winning, and then just thinks for longer and says they had knight hf3. I guess with tempo on this, allowing me to take this. Okay, you know, this may sound like an excuse. I think the computer's blowing that out of proportion. Just in the original analysis, I mean, those numbers were slightly more concerning. This is, you know, they've got to sack the exchange to gain back some tempo, to play c6 at some point. I did mention that they should have gone for c6, but after moving this, we see here, yeah, from this point, I mean, it's all kind of over. I go bishop here, get on that diagonal. I did have the move queen b5 here, really? Oh my lord, yeah, there was never rook b3. I half realized that I made that mistake during the game, I think, when I realized that my bishop was on d5. I just got a little nervous, a little paranoid, you could say, of opening that b file. Instead, I put my bishop here. They go knight here, we bring the rook across, again, with such a tactical position, just keep improving the pieces. They bring the king up here. I mean, I don't know why they started to do that. I think they were probably just very scared of the e-file, but then we bring our knight in, which makes a whole lot of sense, and yeah, from here, I'm just very happy with how I converted. Queen takes b5, the king goes back, bringing the knight in here, best move, is it? Oh no, apparently d3 best move. Whoa, okay, it's just mate in 10. Knight here was actually, listen, no one cares. Once it's over like minus 10, literally no one cares. The king is so weak and my pieces are so good that if you let the engine think for long enough, it'll say mate in some number. But knight here is lovely. Takes, we take, and then play bishop takes here with discovery on the queen. We have a mate in 4. I go check. Again, genuinely, with low time as well, this is just about practically converting and then going in with the queen, driving the king out here, and then takes, the bishop holding this beautiful square, giving the check and giving the mate. Just absolutely gorgeous development and a very convincing attack. A king that never castled, and I mean, even if it did, it wouldn't have been very long for this realm. And all of this, I believe, this is my contention at the very least, stems from this opening, where we get 2 pawns in the center and a developed knight, and all they've done is develop a bishop. We just start to build that initiative. We're a few tempo up, and we just maintain it by developing well, not losing any tempo ourselves. And then, I mean, our attack arrives first and is more convincing. I maybe slipped up slightly, allowing them to play c5, because when they did, apparently, after bishop here, knight here would have been very convincing. I say very convincing, not even that convincing. They had c6 and ideas here, especially if I trade off my dark square bishop. And it is telling that the only move that conceded advantage here, the only bad move of the game that I played was king b8, which I said, you know, is passive. It doesn't really add to the attack. I thought it was a kind of practical and perhaps slightly necessary defensive move, but I mean, maybe not. And then, yeah, just following through and getting at that weak king. Very pleasant stuff. And a checkmate on g5 is absolutely brutal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. For those of you not aware, I just made a second channel. I mean, this is nothing to do with chess, but if you're vaguely interested in physical training, gym-related content, kind of a bit of a gym vlog style channel, then go check out Will Taylor Chest. Pretty hilarious name, I know. The link's in the channel description, or you can just search at Will Taylor Chest into the YouTube search bar. I'll be doing all sorts of stuff on there, just, you know, anything to do with physical training, effectively. Alongside my mathematics and philosophy degree, I see chess as my kind of mental training. Nice to have some physical training in there as well. So I thought I'd share my passion for that with the world as well. I mean, I've shared my chess passion and people seem to be enjoying it. So yeah, go subscribe to that if you're at all interested. But regardless, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed that game, and I'll see you guys in the next one.